HBCU sports segment. But while we kick that off, I got a question for you, brother. Now,
okay,
those of us in the know, or know more than me, have been hearing about Hue Jackson, Grambling Duke head coach. Hugh Jackson's been killing it on the recruiting trail, by the way. I mean, he's getting lost in the sauce, if you will, in the shadow behind Dion. You know, and rightfully so. I mean, no one's Dion, right? But Hugh Jackson is a former NFL coach. He has connections. He's been very successful, except as a head coach. But that's, I think, discuss the organization, but that's not here nor there. But the point is that he's been around. He knows people. He knows things. He uses California connections to recruit a lot of good players, young men, to come to Grambling. So his recruiting class is pretty stacked too. It's just not It's not Jack State and Dion. But I've been hearing about an announcement that he's going to, a big announcement that's going to drop from him. Now, I don't, have you heard about this? Because I don't know. I hadn't heard anything, but I'm just looking for you or hell, anybody to shed some light on this, because I don't know what he's got cooking, this major announcement that's said.
Well, you're right. And it's funny that you bring that up, because someone just asked me about that just yesterday. They're like, because you're right, there was an announcement made, and there's a lot of anticipation to see what this announcement is.
Yes.
And there was people that were wondering whether or not this announcement has been made yet or not. It hasn't. And my guess is that he'll probably end up waiting until Friday morning to make this announcement.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Well, not just Hugh, but Eric Dooley over there at Southern and Alabama A&M. Well, a lot of the teams in the SWAC have been making a lot of interesting pickups in terms of this recent recruiting class. And God, in essence, this is kind of because of what's going on with Jackson State. So
stepping up,
there is a prime effect that's going on, just not the way that I thought it would be going on. It's more so the rest of the conference, or those that can right now, are doing their best to keep pace with what's going on at Jackson State, so they can continue to compete, which is nothing wrong with that. Right. But yeah, I'm as intrigued as you are to see exactly what this announcement is.
Yeah, so I can't wait, because I mean, I've seen it on, like, there's some prominent brothers who cover, and sisters who cover HBCU who've been saying the same thing. They're waiting for this announcement. So to your point, it could be Friday morning, but whatever it is, I'm just for him to tease it like this, it can't be a letdown, right? Because you know how petty SWAC fans are of Steve Style, not Grambling State, or MEAC fans for that matter, or hell, the SIAC, I guess, and the CIAA.
Yeah, I'll say this: if it is a letdown, he gonna learn today, boy.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
Yeah.
He is going to learn today.
Yeah,
because if all of this build up, which has been about a week now, actually, right? It'll probably be a week Thursday, Friday, right?
Right.
All of this lead up, that there's a big announcement coming, and it's not as big as people anticipated to be. There's going to be a lot of upset people, and Hugh is going to get his proper introduction into the SWAC and their fan base.
Well, shoot, they're going to be petty. You know that Facebook group, SWAC Sports Central, how petty they are, and there's a SWAC/MEAC group. Man, yes. they're going to be. They're going to drag his ass.
Social media is going to let them have it. HBCU sports media is going to let him have it.
Yeah.
He is going to get an earful, and he's going to know, hey, I can't do this here.
Right.
Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm prepped from here on out. But you know what? It takes time. Right. Because there were several things that Deion Sanders was saying during the first few months within the SWAC. And of course, it was his growing pains.
Right.
So he's made adjustments. There are a lot of things that he used to complain about that he's not complaining about anymore.
Right.
That lets me know that he's finally he's getting adjusted to the conference, and he's dealing with it accordingly. We'll just wait and see exactly how long it takes to Hue Jackson. Now, let's be real. Yes, Hugh was with the HBCU this past season with Tennessee State, but the OVC ain't the SWAC. Right. And the OVC fans ain't SWAC fans.
Right.
So yeah, he's most definitely going to learn that if that announcement, this build up is for naught.
Yeah,
he gonna know.
I would say they won't be like, nigga, please.
Somebody will.
Yeah, someone will. People will.
Somebody
People
will.
plural will.
Yes.
We'll be saying that. Just think.
The thing is, I just hope that no one does. You know what? The chances of it happening at the press conference is high. Scott, I'm telling you this because because I was there, I witnessed it, and sadly enough, I was a part of it. Celebration Bowl, Friday afternoon, when they're having the press conference. John Grant, shout out to John Grant because he's done a wonderful job in terms of organizing the Celebration Bowl, and you know, he's actually been wonderful enough to answer some of my personal questions too. But during the Celebration Bowl, he's talking about the Celebration Bowl being the bowl that kicks off bowl season.
Right.
And for those that understand the scheduling, it don't kick off bowl schedule no more. Matter of fact, there's a game that happens on Friday. I think it's the Bahama Bowl that happens on Friday.
Yeah, the Bahama Bowl is one of the first ones. Yeah. Yeah,
one of those games is the first game, and then there are two other games that happen after that actually happened before the Celebration Bowl or around the same time as the Celebration Bowl. So as he's saying that, there's some, I'm not going to write out the other people who I'm having this conversation with, but we're discussing amongst ourselves, and probably at a certain decibel level that probably could be heard where he is. We're like, yo, it ain't the first. Ain't there a game going on right now? Someone pulls out the phone. Yup. And they're showing us the stream of the live game, and we're snickering while they're having a press conference. And I'm like, oh my God. So yes, if this is going to be a disappointment, be prepared that you might catch some of that heat at the presser. But if you don't, it's coming on social media, and they won't let you have it.
I'm picturing some of those media members go yelling, nigga, what?
Close enough. I'm not going to tell no tales outside of school, but for those media members that don't hold no punches, they will most definitely let him know at some point that, yo, that's not how we do it here. This is how we do it. You better get yourself right before August comes, because if not, it's only going to get worse. It's only January, bro. You can't be out here slipping.
Oh, man. Hey, I just wish, I wish it was streamed, someone on HBCU game day, huh?
It might be, because I know that, you know, a lot of times Grambling, they will stream their stuff on their website or maybe on their YouTube page so check their social media most definitely. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on the lookout for the announcement, for the official announcement when that happens. So once I get word of it, follow me on social media. That's the Yard. HBCU on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook. Once I hear of an announcement or when the announcement is going to happen, I'm most definitely going to put that out there, and any details on where it's going to be. So if you want to watch it live, I'll most definitely place that out there as well. So yeah, just get ready. Man. It may not be audible to the mics. On social media, they are going to air him
I would
out,
pay,
my brother.
if I had enough money, I would almost pay some to see someone just let it out loud in the middle of the night. Nigga, what?
But see, that's the fun about us.
And we don't hide
the way that we deal with it. Because, yo, if one of us does that, if we're doing that in a realm in which we might not be known or respected, yo, that's the last time we in that spot.
No.
That's the last time we in that spot. And my God, thankfully, at the Celebration Bowl, again, I'm not saying no names of who said it. I know they got clout, and I don't know if it was heard by anyone else of importance from the organizers of the game, but yo, I doubt very seriously they would have let them people be escorted out of the building that day. Me, maybe, but I don't know about them. So,
man,
you know, it is what it is.
Listen, man, we just need a Dave Chappelle skip for that. Anyway, speaking of Grambling and stuff, I've been marveling at and I'll let you get to your thing, but I'm just going to spitballing. I'm just going to share some stuff. I've marveled, and you mentioned this in the past when it comes in regards to Prairie A&M, Prairie View A&M. I'm marvel. I've been looking at some of these institutions have been making big investments in their facilities. Like they showed the pictures of Jackson State's locker room, which was flash. I thought it was.
Of course.
Monitors over the lockers.
Oh, of course.
That's fly as hell. And then they have, I think, Pine Bluff had some, I don't know if it was renderings or it was already done.
I think it's renderings, yeah.
Prairie View's been like, we've seen this new stadium, right? Newer stadium, but their locker rooms, man, I'm like, whoa. I mean, a lot of schools SWAC schools have been making or in the process of making investments. I know I'm forgetting a couple more out there that's already either during the process of doing so.
Alabama State has a nice facility, most definitely.
Right, yeah, I remember them. Yes. And I don't know if FAMU,
I think FAMU is another one. If they don't have it, and I know the fans will correct me if I'm wrong, if they don't have it, they're currently in the process of working on it, because I know they have one of the better basketball facilities within HBCU athletics.
They got a lot of money too.
They got a lot of money over there to do some things, and they know what to do with it.
Right.
So yeah, that's the thing. I understand that they don't have Power 5 money. Only Power 5.
No one wants them to have Power 5 money. We don't expect.
Well, and that's the other thing too. No one wants them to have Power 5 money, because that would be a whole nother monster in itself if HBCUs have Power 5 money. But I'm not even going to sit here and lament about that dream.
Sure.
But the fact that the ones that do have the money, they're making the investment so that they can be attractive to this talent, they're doing so.
Right.
The thing is, of course, we still need other programs on the Division I level to go ahead and keep pace. There are others that are working on it, and those that aren't, they're looking to maneuver so that they can, hopefully, so that they can go ahead and compete with the teams that are within their conference. Because if they can't, they won't, and then they're going to end up being on the outside looking in, trying to figure out how to compete for the foreseeable future with the other teams that have decided to move on and upgrade their facilities.
So, I mean, I'm just marveling at the SWAC. I mean, I've been saying this shit for like the past almost more than calendar year. Yeah. The SWAC is sitting on a fucking gold mine. They're sitting on a gold mine, man.
They are, right? But the biggest conversation, of course, especially as it pertains to football, is with all of the talent that they're bringing in, with the attention that they're receiving right now, the biggest thing is, of course, them being capable of competing outside of the conference.
Yes.
Now, they haven't beaten an FCS opponent since 1985. It would be wonderful if that can happen sometime soon.
Are you serious? More than almost 40 years?
Yes, it's been, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. It's almost been 40 years since the last time they've beaten an FCS opponent. And then they came close a couple of times this past season, actually, with Southern, if memory serves me. And I think that it was a game against McNeese State where they lost by 7. And then, of course, the game against Louisiana Monroe. Now, I know that there are two teams on the lower end of FBS. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. I know that there are two teams on the lower end of FBS, but they're still FBS teams.
Yeah.
And it's still a thing when an FCS team beats an FBS team. I don't care who you are.
Well, Aggies did that a few years ago. They went.
Yes, they did. Right. Yeah. When they beat Kent State, and then of course when they beat oh man, listen. Oh
my favorite quote, man. Give me my money.
That was Jacksonville State. No, that was East Carolina.
Oh, it's East Carolina. Okay, East Carolina. Okay, my bad. That was Kent State. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, that was when they beat ECU. Yeah, because Kent State was under Rob Broadway. So yeah, when they beat ECU, that was the give me my money game. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, bro. Give me my money. Yeah. He's like
people may not know what that from, but they most definitely know that meme, boy. Bring me my money. So yeah, that's the thing, is that a lot of HBCU alums who are fans of FCS football
Yes.
are looking for SWAC teams, especially now with their rosters getting improved on paper,
Right. Yes.
to not only compete against better OOC opponents, and I understand why they compete against the likes of the MEAC and Division II opponents from the SEAC. I get it, because of course those are money makers for them.
Right.
But for the people who want to see at least the the third best team in the SWAC continue to be considered for the FCS playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
They're going to have to get their OOC better, or continue to hope that they get a draw the same way that Florida A&M got this past season, where not only did they have a wonderful season, losing only the 2 games throughout the year, with one of those being against an FBS opponent, they had a lot of other teams that would have been considered ahead of them to have losses too. So that's where that magic formula is. You can continue to schedule the way that you schedule and hope that you have a season like Florida A&M did, or you just go out there and you play against the likes of the Southland State, the Southland Conference, or I'm trying to think of other
Missouri Valley Conference, like
Missouri Valley Conference,
or
even the OVC. So you can compete against those surrounding conferences on the FCS level that surround you and beat those guys. You're going to get more consideration and more respect, not only for your conference, but within the consideration of the selection committee, so that those teams, those third place teams, can be looked at as a viable option to compete in the FCS playoffs.
Right.
So that's what they're hoping for. Because yes, it's nice to beat up within your conference and to hopefully one day win a Celebration Bowl. Because God knows that was 2016 the last time the SWAC did that.
Yeah.
And yeah, my belly was a lot smaller back then. Man, oh man. But yeah, right. So they would not only like to win the Celebration Bowl, they want to go ahead and be viable outside of the conference. So that's the respect that the SWAC fans, the true SWAC fans that really love FCS football, really want. They want to be respected outside of the conference, because no matter how good Jackson State was this year, throughout the entire season, they're still going to be criticized for that Celebration Bowl loss. Same thing with Florida A&M. They're going to be criticized because of their playoff loss, because they don't seem to get wins outside of the conference.
Correct.
And that's what they want. They want to get those dubs.
Correct. So to your point, yes, I think that's a big to-do list, if you will, for the SWAC programs, because again, they're getting talent. They're getting more talent on paper. They're getting better coaching personnel on paper. So, and again, we've talked about ad nauseam about the attendance. They lead by far and away in FCS in attendance. It's not even close, especially after Dion. Let's just be real about that. It's not even close as far as support, as far as attendance. It's time to parlay that. That's how, again, I'm drawing parallels to SEC because they're an SEC country. They're essentially the SEC almost. They're outside of Missouri Valley Conference, where North Dakota State and company are. They're the real SEC of FCS, if you think about it, in terms of fan support, in terms of notoriety. Okay, because the public at large know who Jackson State is. They know who FAMU is. They know who Grambling is. They know who Southern is. Those are your brands. They got brands. They got brands for days.
Yes, they do.
And to compete with the likes, the brandings, I'm talking about from a strictly brand standpoint.
Of course, right?
To compete with the likes of North Dakota State, which is a brand in of itself. The Montana, University of Montana, that's in the Big Sky. James Madison, I know they're going to move up to FBS this year, but they're a brand because they compete every year. They're competitive every year.
And see, and that's the thing, right? Not only do the SWAC fans, and more than likely the coaches themselves, want to be looked at more than just being a brand and gaining attention for competing well within their own individual conference. They want that respect of being able to beat teams out of the conference too.
Right.
So until they can go ahead and prove that and actually schedule games and schedule more than one opponent a year on that schedule, so they can prove it, then they'll start to get that respect. And then, you know, the SWAC fans that know will end up having a little bit more respect for what these teams are currently doing. Don't get me wrong. They most definitely love the fact that this talent is coming to the conference. Right. They want to see it pay dividends on the field.
Right.
Outside of
that's the important part. That's the important
part. That's what they really want. Because the thing is, the conference is taking, of course, as incremental steps.
Yes.
But people want to see it happen faster. Because of course they're getting they're getting more attention, right. They're getting more exposure. Right. If the facilities are starting to improve, the talent itself on paper or on the respective teams are starting to improve. The thing is, can they compete against the big boys? And that's what they want to see. The only problem with that, though, is, you know, they still have 12 teams within that conference, and you're going to, because of the fact that they sell tickets, you're going to want to see, well, there's certain people who are going to want to see them play more of the in-conference opponents rather than play OOCs, so that they can go ahead and generate revenue, which I understand. Right. But there's a way, and there are people who are smarter than me that know how to do it. There's a way to generate that revenue and also get an opportunity to compete against your out-of-conference opponents and prove that you're the best in FCS as a whole.
Yes, well said. Well said. I just like the fact that at least, dare I say, half of the SWAC are up or on the midst or had to complete the upgrades to their facilities. I'm talking about football facilities. So that's good. So that lets you know right there that they're getting the money from somewhere. So, I mean, either it's from alumni and engagement, re-engagement, if you will, or from TV, or from streaming, ESPN streaming. Either way, the notoriety is here. It's here.
It's there. The thing is, and I think we may have said it before, hopefully, everything that's going on now, they're learning from this, right? And they're learning to make this work for years on end. Because, you know, I might not agree with Channing Crowder, but JSU is on borrowed time with Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, it's not that I want to see him go, because I don't want people to think that, right?
Sure.
But let's just be real with athletics right now. It is a rarity. Yeah, it is a rarity that anyone stays in any spot longer than 5 years. 10 years if you're blessed, right?
Yeah.
And that means you have to be doing extremely well for a very long time. But that's not how it normally works out. Right. You know, if you get a couple of losing seasons, hell, the damn Cowboys just lost Sunday. They went, what, 11-6? I mean, I'm happy that they lost, but they won 11 games this year, right, during the regular season.
Yes.
Was it 10 or 11? Well, whatever it was, they won
11 games. They won 12. They won 12. They won 12 and 5.
They won 12 games.
Yeah.
And they're talking about firing the coach because of one bad drive. Are you kidding me?
And penalties.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I always want to see Mike McCarthy.
The only reason why they were in the game in the beginning was because Jimmy G shit the bed, but that's not.
Oh, but I mean, that's Jimmy G playing like Jimmy G, right?
It should have been a San Francisco blow, but that's not here.
It really should have, but you know, it's also Jimmy G and a lot of as good of a play caller as he is. Kyle Shanahan likes to make bad play calling as well, so that's there too, right? But I digress. But yeah, it doesn't matter. All it takes is for the right amount of failure at the right time, and fan bases are going to want you gone. Right. So yeah, I'm just hoping that they're learning from his presence there in the SWAC so they can continue to thrive.
I agree. Well said. So any more, do you have any more? I totally hijacked the segment, but do you